Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Yoga with Riva. I'm here with my lovely assistant, Victoria, and we are in the Alabama Hills, just outside of Lone Pine in California. We just enjoyed a beautiful hike through the Sierra Mountains, the Kearsarge Pass today, and we're inspired by all of the Pacific Crest Trail and all of the other, like John Muir Trail. I think there's like a whole nother trail that intersects in this area. So a bunch of people out enjoying the sunshine, and really hiking is stressful on the body. So you're going, up against gravity. You're carrying a lot of weight, and you're using your hamstrings, your hips, your glutes, your low back. Ooh, there's lots of little visitors around right now. So you're using your whole body basically to like propel yourself up that hill, and then also using your body as you kind of brake as you move downhill as well. So we're going to do some stretches that are really beneficial for hikers. So if you are, moving into the summer months, you're feeling a little more active, your body's feeling a little more sore and tired, this practice can be a really great benefit to kind of balance out your active lifestyle. So this is not going to be a very long sequence. It's just going to be like 10 or 15 minutes of stretching that can really help to ease those sore muscles and create a little more space in your body. So we're going to start today lying down. And if you have a bolster, like a yoga bolster like this, awesome. If you don't need it. You can grab a pillow, you can grab a couch cushion, you can roll up a towel, you can fold a blanket in half. I just want you to find something that can give you a little extra support. We're going to start by bringing our prop underneath our knees. So go ahead and find yourself on your back, or find yourself on your butt. Slide your prop underneath your knees, and then go ahead and bring your hands beside you, fingers facing towards your feet, and then lower yourself down elbow by elbow. And then bringing your hips down, lie the rest of your body down. And if you need to, adjust your head, your hair, your clothes, your legs. So just make sure that your hips feel even to the ground and your shoulders feel even to the ground. And a couple of options here. You can take your hands to your body. This can really be a nice way to bring the attention or awareness inside. So maybe one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. If you're feeling like you would like to ground, if you're feeling a little scattered, if your energy is all over the place, bring your arms down beside you with your palms facing down, and that can really bring that sensation of grounding. If you are in the mood to receive, you can flip your palms facing up. And maybe you try all three of these positions until you decide which one feels the most comfortable. And we're going to use this shape as a way to enter into the space. So whatever's been going on in your day so far, whatever it took to get you here on your mat, to your body, in your breath, this is just a couple of moments just to take that shift. So exhale your air all the way, completely deplete the air from your lungs. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath together. So inhaling through your nose, nice and slow. Imagine the breath going all the way down into your lungs, expanding your rib cage, stretching out your intercostal muscles, feeling your body stretch from the inside out. Hold your breath, and then open your mouth and exhale. Just like a broom, you're like sweeping out the stagnant energy, releasing toxins, metabolic waste. Let's take a couple more rounds of breath, inhaling through your nose. So a little slower, a little deeper. Take a longer breath. Imagine you're bringing that life force energy into every single one of your cells. You're expanding from the inside out. Hold your breath. Take another sip of air. And then open your mouth and exhale. Just like a nice rinse, just sweeping yourself out, clearing the passageway. Let's take one more breath together. So just like an invitation, you're inviting the breath into your body. You're feeling it expand yourself from the inside out. Imagine you're blowing up a balloon on the inside of your body. This is the biggest breath you've taken so far. Fill the breath all the way up into your lungs. Hold your breath. Make sure you're at maximum capacity. And then open your mouth and exhale. Release the breath and release your body. So we're going to stay here for a little bit of time together, just as a way to drop in and sink down. I want you to bring your awareness to the area around your eyes. See if you can soften the muscles there. Release the concentration from between your brows. And then continuing that softening down the rest of your body, see if you can release your jaw a little bit. Soften up your throat. So you're trying to make your muscles more supple. It's almost like you're dropping into the weight of your bones. And as we kind of bring the awareness to the sensations that you're feeling in your body, this is strengthening your mind-body connection. So rather than just being up in your mind, thinking and planning and trying to figure out the next thing, we're taking this opportunity to feel the body instead. So that's our intention. Nice and easy. We'll just take a few stretches together to open up hips, glutes, and low back. Take a full breath in through your nose and a full breath out. If your hands are on your body, bring them beside you, palms facing down, and then bring your feet to your prop. So whether it's a towel, whether it's a pillow, you're gonna step on your prop, so you're bringing your feet a little bit up. Notice what that does to your low back. You might need to push your feet into the ground, lift up your hips, and then flatten your low back to the ground. So that little scoop of air at your low back, you wanna try to flatten it down so you feel nice and long in your spine. Tuck your chin a little bit and feel the top of your head lengthen away from your tailbone. So you might stay right here. If you want to add on, you can cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then you're just allowing the weight of your leg to kind of drop down out towards the side. You're creating like the shape of a figure 4. And just noticing how this feels in your hips. So already you're feeling a nice opening sensation on the right hip. This might be enough for you. If you want to add on from here, guide your legs towards you. You might interlace your hands behind your hamstring, or maybe you bend your left knee and grab for the top of your shin. So either grip, it just kind of depends on your range of motion. And then check out your weight distribution. If you're rolling to one side or the other, see if you can even out the weight. Snuggle your shoulders down, tuck your chin down, and as you guide your legs towards you, just gently, slowly, right knee kind of presses away. So big rotation for the hip joint. We're realigning the bones in this socket. So your leg comes up and attaches into your hip, and then your hip attaches to your low back. And the joints in this area tend to get really dense and compressed. So when we do these big hip opening postures, we're realigning the joints. We're allowing for space for circulation and blood flow. This is how we create better posture, better alignment, and really actually prevent injury over time. We're going to stay here for a few more breaths. Just see if every time you exhale, you can soften the grip or the clenching that you might be feeling. You're just getting heavier and heavier here. No need to push or pull. It's more like you're allowing the stretch. We'll stay here for 5 more breaths. Nice and slow, in and out of your nose. Keep your eyes nice and soft. Your whole face nice and relaxed. And as you finish your final breath, just guide your legs a little closer. Just find that final edge. And then release into your original position with your knees supported on your prop. So you should have a nice little bend in your knee. This allows you to like flatten your low back to the ground a little bit. This is a great way to decompress your lower vertebrae. So if you are feeling any low back sensitivity due to sitting a lot or due to activities, this can be a nice posture just to hold for like anywhere between 2 to 10 minutes. It can really help to undo that forward moving that you do in your day. Let's just take one more full breath in. Easy breath out. And we'll work into the other side. So one by one, planting your feet back on your prop. And this might be enough. So right away, you're feeling some length to the back of your hips. Your low back is lengthening out. You're feeling some hamstring stretch. That might be enough. If you want to add on, take your left ankle, cross it over your right thigh, and just let the weight of your left leg drop down to the side. And you can stay right here. If you feel like you might want a little more stretch, bring your legs towards you. You can interlace your hands behind your hamstring and just drop your heel down, or maybe you grab for the top of your shin. Just make sure that the grip doesn't cause any strain or pain. So you want to feel the stretch, maybe like a dull, achy sensation, but if anything feels hot or sharp, I want you to listen to your body and just back out. That's your body sending you a signal that it's too much, and it's your job to listen to that message and really honor that. Continue to keep your weight nice and flat across your back, your shoulders evenly broad to the ground. your chin slightly tucked, and then just settle into the rhythm of your breath here, slow and steady, in and out of your nose. Just feeling how maybe your right hip feels different than your left hip. Just these little subtle differences between side to side. Keeping your eyes really soft. And then as you come up on your last breath, just gently guide your legs towards you. One more little squeeze. And then release, coming back into that original position. So knees on your prop, arms beside you or on you, whatever feels comfortable. And just take a moment here to breathe. So yoga is going to be different for everybody. All of our anatomies are very different. Our bones are different sizes. Our joints are different sizes. We have different textures of skin and muscle and bone. So all of us are going to look really different in the shapes. It's not really so much what it looks like. The whole idea behind the practice is to take your body into a position and then study how you feel in the shape. It's basically, you're just studying your human experience. You're just using the yoga posture as a container to explore whatever comes up. So as you lay here, you might notice some circulation, you might notice some blood flow. And we're going to move our prop off to the side. You might hug it into your hips and then move it over to your side. You want to keep it handy. We might use it later on. And then planting your feet on the ground, bring your arms up over your head, arch your low back. See if you can really stretch your waist. And then we're going to roll over onto our side. So whichever side you like, keep your bottom arm up so that you can rest your head on your bicep. Yeah, perfect, Victoria. And then push your hands into the ground and coming up to a seat. Alrighty, so sitting on the ground cross-legged can be really uncomfortable. If that's true for you, you can take your prop. Maybe you sit up on your prop. That can actually add a little more space to your low back and to your hips. So if that's something that sounds exciting, go ahead. And we'll just go ahead and find ourselves in a nice seat here. You can also sit in a chair. That's totally fine as well. Bring your hands to your lap, palms facing down, and just close down your eyes as you shift your weight from side to side. So just noticing your sit bones, and then feel that midline. Find when you're centered and your weight is distributed evenly across your seat. From this place, root your tailbone down. You'll notice your lower abdominals engage. And as you ground down through the base of your posture, draw the energy up into your spine and lift your chest. So you're actually moving energy up and down through your torso at the same time. The top of your head is stretching towards the sky. Keep your chin parallel to the ground so the back of your neck is nice and long. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now slowly flutter your eyes open. Just take your right leg out to the right. So you can stay sitting up on your prop if that feels good in your hips. You can also, if you have really tight hamstrings, which is true for a lot of us, you can bring your prop underneath your knee. So that can add a little extra support as well. We're going to fold over our right leg. So I want you to take your hips and kind of hinge so that you're facing your right leg. Yeah, really good. And then strengthen up, lengthen up, lift your chest, and then hinge forward at your waist. So coming down with a long spine, I want you to hinge from your hips. Yeah, really nice. That's so good. So you might feel right away this stretch in your hamstring. Maybe you feel it down more in your calf muscle or your knee. You may feel it in your hip or your low back. All of these muscles are connected by fascia, this connective tissue that's kind of like plastic. It wraps around all of your muscle fibers, holds everything together, but it can tend to get a little brittle and stiff. So in this style of practice that we're doing now, this yin style, we're holding postures for time, we're staying still, and we're allowing those dense tissues to open up on their own. So rather than trying to get the maximum stretch, we're more curious about the invitation. We're waiting for our body to tell us it's ready. Just kind of easing into the forward fold, being very mindful if you are feeling any back pain. Make sure that your chest is lifted and your spine is long. I want you to hinge from your hips rather than rounding your backside. We'll just stay here for 3 more breaths. Notice when you exhale, you might be able to get a little heavier. You might be able to release some kind of clenching sensation, some kind of gripping that your muscles muscles might be holding on to. Exhale all the way. See if you can come down even just a millimeter more. And then use your inhale breath to lift your chest, just walking your hands up. We're going to come to center, bringing both of your feet together to touch. So same thing, if you're sitting up on a prop and that's working for you, you can continue to sit up on your prop. If this feels like a really big stretch for your legs, you can take bolsters or pillows on the outsides of your legs. So 2 props on either side, hopefully they're about the same size. And also, if you're feeling a lot of compression in your knees, it's helpful to push your heels a little further away. So the wider the angle in your inner legs, the less compression you're going to feel in your knee joint. So sit nice and tall. You can grab your legs and lift your chest. Yeah, really beautiful. And then hinge forward from your waist. So you're going to come down, maybe bringing your hands to the mat. If you have a prop, you can bring your hands up to a prop. I just want you to hinge until your body naturally stops. And this might not be a very big movement. It might just be a little bit of a forward fold. You just want to come down until you're feeling that big opening. So huge opening for the hips, inner thighs. You're decompressing the low back. You're spreading apart the sacrum. You're creating room for synovial fluid and oxygenated blood. And this is really where the healing happens. You're creating space for circulation and blood flow. So we'll just stay here for a little time. Hopefully, at least for me, sometimes it's nice to close down my eyes. And that way I'm less distracted. So often like the visual stimulation will get me kind of lost in thought. So if you close down your eyes, you might be able to tap into the sensations that you're feeling a little easier. And then another beautiful tool that you can use to stay present is just continuing to stay focused on your breath. So you can just really notice what it feels like when you're inhaling, and just feel what it feels like as you exhale, and just get really curious about your breath. It's always with you, in and out. First thing you do when you come into this world, the last thing you do before you leave, but rarely do we think about it. So that's always a good tool. Let's take 5 more breaths here. If you notice you have more space to come down, you're welcome to move into it. Just make sure you're always moving when your body's ready, rather than like when you want to, when your ego is pushing you. Your last breath. So no rush. If you want to stay longer, you're welcome. If you're ready to move, just gently lifting your chest, walking yourself back. Sit nice and tall before you move anything. And then once you're ready, switching out your legs. So your left leg comes out and your right leg comes in. And if you're sitting on a prop, great. If you want the floor, that's awesome as well. But we're twerking our hips over towards the left. So I want you to be kind of facing your left leg a little more. Inhale, reach up over your head. Keep the length. And then hinge forward at your waist, coming over your left leg. Yeah, beautiful entrance. And you just want to allow the backside of your body to open up. This can feel really tender, really tight. It can feel tight because of a lot of activities that you're doing, but it also can get tight if you're sitting a lot. So these muscles get shortened and tightened, and then they start to pull on each other. So we're just coaxing the length rather than like forcing our body into any position, and just using your breath to drop into the shape. We'll stay here for a little bit of time. There's your last 3 breaths, just noticing if there's any more space that you'd like to move into. Being really gentle with yourself here, taking your time. Using your inhale to lift your chest, come up nice and tall with your spine, and then make your way to tabletop position. So coming onto your hands and your knees, stack your shoulders over your wrists. Take a little bit of time to get in good alignment here. So you want to stack your joints in order to prevent any kind of pressure on the ligaments. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your gaze. And exhale for cat. Press the mat away from you, round your spine, really poof up your shoulders, maybe tuck your toes into the ground and stretch the bottoms of your feet. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, lift your gaze. And exhale for cat, pressing the mat away from you, really nice. Walking your hands to the top of your mat, keep your hips high to the sky. We're coming into melting heart. So bring your forehead down to the ground. As you walk your fingers forward, you should feel a nice stretch through your side waist. This is an inversion, so you're getting your head below your heart, getting some healthy blood flow up into your brain. Breathing here, inhale and exhale. Inhale, look forward to your hands, and then slide forward onto your belly. So we're going to come into a little bit of spine strengthening. So starting by stacking your hands on top of each other, bring your forehead to your hands. And just toes touch, heels fall out to the side. You can give your hips a little shake and loosen your low back. And now see if you can allow the muscles of your belly to soften and relax. Imagine you could allow your organs to spread out. So we do a lot of holding in our abdominal area because of energetic reasons, but also that's where all of our important organs are. So on a physical level, we're kind of protecting the front of our body most of the time. And it's really nice with the support of the earth underneath you to allow those muscles to spread out, to create a little more surface area for circulation to flow in and out. So we're going to take like a half floor bow and a half locust pose. So go ahead and bend your right knee. Reach around with your right hand and grab the top of your foot right where your shoelaces go. And then take your left hand and stretch it forward, palm facing down. Bring your forehead to the ground. So from here, just start to kick into your hand. Notice how the kick just automatically starts to pull your body up off the ground. Yeah, so kicking into your hand, point your toes. There we go. And now lift your head and lift your hand. Maybe you can lift your leg. That's exactly right. So looking down at your mat, kicking into your hand, stretch your finger away from your foot. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Bring your hands on top of each other. Just come to a neutral spine. Pause. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now bend your left knee. Reach around, grab your left foot right where your shoelaces go. And then just start by kicking into your hand. You're going to notice that lift that automatically happens. And if you want to add on, you can extend your arm. Lift your toe, lift your hand. Yeah, point your toes in the back. Yes, so good. Lift it up one more time. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Let's come back to our starting position. Hands on top of each other, toes touch. And just allow your body to settle here in this neutral position. So spine strengthening postures are super important for bringing balance and alignment into your spine, helping to prevent injury. Bring your hands under your shoulders and make your way into child's pose. So toes touch, bring your knees out wide to the side and sink your hips back towards your heels. If this feels like a lot on your knees, you can keep your hips lifted and take that melting heart variation. But if it feels okay to drop your hips back, this is a great way to decompress your low spine. So especially if you're doing a lot of hiking or backpacking, you're carrying weight on your shoulders. The weight of your body and gravity is always pushing down on your lower back. But imagine you're just adding extra weight to that compression. So this is really helpful for undoing what that action tends to do. This is a very kind of calming posture. So if you ever feel like really anxious, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can just take this one pose. You don't even have to do a whole class. Just take this pose, take a few deep rounds of breath, and just see what happens. Stay here for one more full breath in, full breath out. Come up to sitting on your heels. So walking your hands back, lift your chest. And then sit on your hip and swing your legs out in front of you. Bend your knees, slide your seat forward, and come all the way down to your backside. So we're coming back to our mats. Hug your knees into your chest and just gently rock from side to side. We're going to finish with a gentle supine twist. So taking your knees over to the right side of your mat. Option here to bring your arms down beside you. So left hand can come to your thigh, right arm beside you, or maybe cactusing your arms with your palms facing up. Both feel a little different. Just check out what it feels like in your body. And then with your head, you can keep your gaze neutral up at the sky, or maybe you turn your chin towards one or the other shoulder, just feeling into what feels the best. And just make sure that you're not straining to hold the position. You do want to drop back into that yin state where you're dropping into the parasympathetic nervous system. You're releasing the muscles and you're allowing the stress to release from your body as well. Keep breathing slow in and out of your nose. Take another big breath in. Imagine you're expanding your right ribs, really stretching out that space. And then make your way onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a nice little squeeze, maybe rocking side to side. So any movement you feel like you want to take here before you move to the other side. So knees come over to the right side. You can adjust your hips, adjust your shoulders. It's okay if your left shoulder is popping up. There's no like perfect position here. You just want to make sure that there's no like twerking or pinching in your spine. You want a nice long line of energy before you create the twist. And then your arms can be down beside you, or maybe you cactus your arms. It's totally up to you. Sometimes if your chest feels tight, this can feel a little bit too intense. And then just check out what you want to do with your gaze. If you want to turn your head or keep your chin neutral. And then once you've found the position, just settle into your sweet spot. So no need to fidget, no need to move or change anything. Just see if you can drop into the stillness and relax your little muscle fibers one by one. Take another breath, just breathing into your left ribs. Nice and big stretch for the inside of your body. Exhale your breath all the way as you make your way to your back, hugging your knees into your chest. Give yourself one big squeeze. Thank your amazing body for everything it does for you. And then exhale into your final Shavasana. So stretching your legs out long, bringing your arms beside you. So palms facing up is a gesture of receiving. Palms facing down is a gesture to ground. So choose what feels the best. If you need to adjust anything, if you liked how we started and you want to slide your pillow or your bolster under your knees, you're more than welcome. You could also slide it underneath your head or your chest. So whatever makes you happy, I want you to find your final position. And we're going to stay here for a little bit of time together. This is how our body integrates what we've just done. This is how we absorb the energy and the effort of our work. Try to stay present. So if you notice that your mind is starting to wander off, if you're making a list or thinking about what you're going to do next, see if you can just nudge yourself back and stay here for a little more time. Stay with your breath, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. If you have the time to stay, please enjoy your meditation. No need to rush out. If you're ready to move on, give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. And then rolling your head from side to side, massage the back of your skull. Plant your feet on the floor one by one. Reach your arms over your head. Same thing. You want to arch your low back, stretch your side waist, and then rolling over onto whichever side you like, pausing with your head on your bicep in fetal pose. And then pressing your hands into the floor, lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. Sitting nice and tall with your legs crossed and your eyes closed. Remember, you can sit up on your pillow, you can sit up on a chair, anything that feels comfortable. Bring your hands together at your chest. This is Anjali Mudra, the mudra for balance. Thank yourself for showing up for yourself. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you everybody for joining. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like the video, please hit the like as well. If there's anything that you're interested in learning, please don't hesitate to leave comments. I always love to make classes to fit what you guys need. And message me, I'm here for you. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you, Miss Victoria. Namaste, you guys.